What if I told you that you can get one license that can completely change your income ceiling, but also test your discipline more than a 9 to 5 could ever? So, this is your real estate license, even though it may look all glamorous online. And I feel like, you see on Netflix all these reality shows with
Selling
real estate.
Sunset.
Yeah, there you go. But it's a lot of work, and third of those agents end up quitting within 2 years. So is it freedom or is it pressure?
Welcome to the From Zero podcast. This podcast is for the disciplined, growth-driven professionals who are looking to start their business from zero. Today, we're breaking down everything about getting your real estate license in the state of Arizona, the requirements, the opportunity, the stats that no one talks about, and what this career actually demands.
Yeah, so let's get into it. What does that process look like in order to get your real estate?
Yeah, so we are actually both licensed in the state of Arizona. I've been licensed for about 5 years. In March, actually, this month, I'm going to hit 5 years.
That's cool.
And how long have you been licensed for?
I've been licensed for 1 year.
1 year.
1 year. Yeah.
Yeah. So in total, we make 6 years. So
6 years of experience.
Exactly. Yeah. So essentially, what it takes is you have to be at least 18 when applying for a license. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't take the courses to get your license at 17, which is what I did and what my sister did recently. She got licensed as well at 18, but she took the courses at 17. And those courses consist of 90 hours of pre-licensing education. So all the coursework is just 90 hours and then an additional 6 hours of introduction to contract writing. So they just go over the basics of the contract. That way you don't step into the real estate world knowing absolutely nothing, And so after that, you pass the school exam. And then for the school exam, you have to get at least a 75%. And then you get your fingerprint clearance card. It's just like essentially a background check just to make sure you're all set and everything. And then you take what is the state license exam, which you also need a 75%. It's split. This exam is split into 2 parts, which they recently changed because it was essentially just one whole exam, 180 questions. They recently split it into 2, which is how it was done prior, but then they changed it in between. And then again, they split it into 2 parts, which is the Arizona Sales State and the Arizona Sales General. And so you have to pass the exam. If you don't pass one, I believe that you could still, so if you can take both at the same time, and then if you don't pass one, you just take the other one. And then after that, you submit your application for your real estate license, and then you hang it with a broker. In this case, me. You hang it with me. So once you get licensed, talk to me, and we'll help you through the rest.
Great. Also, I feel like you guys have to take in mind that it's 2 years for you to activate your license or hang it up. Because I was so close to that deadline, and they do let you know that if you don't do it within that time frame, you might have to take your classes again and take that test again, and it's not fun. First of all, you're sitting all day in one class, and you just get your lunch breaks here and there, but overall, just sitting and trying to absorb all this knowledge so that you can pass 2 tests that you get a few tries for your school test, but then for your state test, you do have to pay for every time that you take that test.
Exactly. Yeah. So I recommend when taking your 90 hours of courses, just 1, take a lot of notes and everything, but 2, also I would invest in programs that help you pass the test. I used CompuCram through the Arizona School of Real Estate and Business. They have different packages. Yes. And so one of those packages includes CompuCram, which gives you note cards online, and then question and answer and all of that stuff. So that's what I did to pass the exam. Now, did I pass it the first time? I'm not going to answer that, but I did not pass it the first time, but it did help me to continue advancing.
No, I didn't pass it the first time as well. I think I took a few times, but I think once because I was I was a leasing agent in apartments, and then we bought our home with my husband. So then when I kind of went through that experience, I think I was able to absorb more of that real estate knowledge. But I just kept trying and kept going. And I remember, I think in the Scottsdale testing, they had a wall where people would write down how many times they've tried taking the test. And I saw 20 times where people didn't pass. I saw 17. So it sounds discouraging, but in the moment, that helped me get through those tests taking.
Right. And those tests aren't easy. And I think people get confused of the fact that they think that you need all of this in the actual real estate world. But essentially, all of this is just the laws and everything. So it's still really important to know this as an agent, but it's not what you actually use in practice. For example, how to open a logbox or how to show properties, or even with that 6-hour contract classes, you still have to understand the contract more in depth and all of that. So yeah, I mean, it can be discouraging when you don't pass it the first time and everything, but it's just keep on going, What I did is I took the exam once. I didn't pass. I took it a few days later. I didn't give myself time to like cry about it and everything. I just like, okay, you know what? Got to get it. I have to get it done, because how else am I gonna move forward?
I think that's the most efficient way to do it, because I did that as well. In the first time I took it, and then it took a minute for me to go back into it and try to test again. Like you said, you get discouraged. And so for the other times, I'm like, okay, let me just go back into it and seeing what type of studying strategy works best for you definitely helps. And then once I went into it, it's just like, okay, I didn't pass it again, but go again right after, so that it's fresh in your brain. And I feel like there's more likely chance of you passing that way.
Yeah. And in my experience, after getting my license for 3 years, I decided to pursue my broker's license, which you can do after you've had 3 years of active experience within the last 5 years. So in my case, I got licensed at 18. So by 21, I was able to apply for my broker's license. I was active within those 3 years. And so I was just like, you know what? Let's do it. At that time, we were opening the brokerage for non-realtors. So we are not realtors, but we are licensed in the state of Arizona, which means that we have all the capacity to open houses, to search the MLS. We have everything without the fee of being a realtor. Essentially, the realtor is just the name. That's, in my opinion, the only benefit that you get. Yeah, which is like $500. And so we're like, no. We want to give agents the options, the opportunity to choose. So we opened 2 brokerages, one for realtors, one for non-realtors. And so, 3 years of active experience, got that. I took more classes. It's a 90-hour broker pre-licensing courses through the Arizona School of Real Estate and Business, which is where we took the pre-licensing. Then you have to complete 9 hours of broker management clinic. So it's like three hours for 3 different classes, something like that. And then you obtain, if your fingerprint clearance card expired, you renew that. In my case, it hasn't expired yet. So I didn't have to do that process of getting your fingerprint clearance card. And then after that, same thing, you pass the real estate broker exam. You have to get at least 75%. And then you have to have an experience verification form in order to just to prove that you've been active. So I believe that is signed by your broker. So they're the ones that are telling the Department of Real Estate, like, hey, like, she's been active. She's
eligible for
that license. And then you have 2 choices. Either you can open your own brokerage, which in my case, that's what I did, or you can just hang it under another broker, another company. So you don't have to move brokerages. Essentially, you just take on the title of associate broker. So I'm a designated broker because I own the brokerage and I deal with compliance and all that stuff. But essentially, you just be an associate broker. But ultimately, I think that it helps you stand out. There are over 60,000 active licensees, and only 49,000 are salespersons, and only 11,000 are brokers. So you can already see that difference from being just a regular salesperson, a realtor, to being a broker. So I decided to take that path of being a broker, another reason being to just differentiate myself from all the 60,000 agents that are in the state. And this is just in the state of Arizona. And this information I pulled from December 31st in 2025. So this is just a few months.
It's new, yeah.
So it could have possibly changed. There's always hundreds of people getting their real estate license every week.
Yes.
And there's 60,000 currently active as of December, but 82,000 which have either active or eligible, expired, or inactive. So there's a lot of competition, but
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go through that stat really quick, if it's okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to see exactly. It says 30 to 35% leave within 2 years. This is for real estate realtors and real estate agents. That's crazy.
It is.
I'm hoping I never fall into that category.
No, you won't. We'll make sure you won't.
Because it's a tough business.
It's a tough business.
But yeah, that's a big percentage. And I think a lot of people go into it thinking that the leads or the clients are just going to fall into your lap and you're going to be able to do all these transactions. And it's more difficult than it seems. I know when I got my license, I had a few people message me like, "This is amazing. This is great. You got your real estate license. I'm also thinking about getting my real estate license." And I never discourage them to get it. I'm always like, yes, go for it, because how we said, it opens up so many doors, and it's not just real estate. There's so many different routes that you can take with this.
Yeah, and we're going to touch that a little bit more along the podcast. But what was one thing that surprised you when you first got your license?
I think it would just be that the clients, thinking that it was as easy as, waking up and it
hey, I'm a
being
realtor.
there. Yeah,
like,
I'm a
send me your
realtor.
business.
Exactly. And it's putting yourself out there. I think like 99% of this job requires you to put yourself out there and be social and being confident enough to say that you're real estate and having that knowledge to back you up. So yeah, I think
absolutely.
just the clients.
Yeah, I think for me, one thing that surprised me was the fact of, or like, how accessible it is to get in this business. If you think about it, it's just a few exams and 90 hours, and you're able to deal with transactions ranging from, I don't know, 100,000 to millions of dollars. And all you had to do is take 90 hours and a few exams, So I'm not saying that the exams are easy or it doesn't take time to take those 90 hours, It takes time and it's time consuming, but it's pretty accessible, So everyone many have the opportunity of getting their real estate license. So when they ask me, I'm like, yeah, get it, but just know that you have to put in the work,
Yeah.
Actually, we were also talking about how different it is to be a real estate agent in different states. In the East Coast, real estate attorneys play a much larger role than we in Arizona. So we have a big role in Arizona compared to other real estate agents in the East Coast. For example, in some states in the East Coast, you have to have the contracts drafted by an attorney. The offers have to be reviewed by an attorney. They conduct the closing and hold escrow. So a lot of the legal side is driven by attorneys, whereas agents over there, they just have to essentially show homes and negotiate, which is still a big thing, because they have access, they put in the work, they put in the hours to pass the exam and all that stuff. But here in Arizona, we're what we call a title and escrow state. So which means that title companies, a lot of the closings are handled by title companies and escrow officers, and Arizona agents can legally fill out and complete real estate contracts and documents related to a transaction. For example, the purchase agreement or lease agreements, as long as obviously they are licensed. And here in Arizona, we have what we call limited practice of law. So meaning that we can fill out and complete purchase contracts, like I just said. But what we can't do is interpret or give legal advice. But we do have a big role when it comes to the buying and selling of a property.
Yeah, and how you were saying it, there's a lot of little tasks that we have to do as a real estate agent, and we'll talk about that shortly. But yeah, so it's not just opening homes and handing you keys. There's a lot of tasks that we have to get done throughout that transaction.
Yeah, it's
So looking into it, I mean, with getting your broker's license, did you feel like you had so much responsibility now, or did you think that it was just, I have my license, my broker's license, now I can do more?
so I think for me, it was a little bit different because when you get your broker's license, you don't necessarily have to open a brokerage. And so you are given more responsibility, especially when the Arizona Department of Real Estate sees you, because taking that broker's license, it's like, okay, you're getting more knowledge. You have more liability per se because you should know. So in a court of law, it's like, well, you as a broker should know all of this information because obviously you took more education to get here and you have more experience and all that stuff. So, but in my case, I went to the route of opening the brokerage. And so as designated broker, my role is a lot of compliance and a lot of trainings and a lot of supporting the agents that are under me rather than sales. When you get your broker's license, you can just continue in sales and everything. But I think what it does is differentiate you from the thousands of other realtors and licensed real estate agents that are out there. When they put their title realtor, like, oh yeah, my cousin's a realtor and everything, but broker, that's not as common,
Yeah.
And with your license, you can do so many other things, you know? Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Of course. So you can obviously build your own team as a broker. You can do property management. You can invest. That could be fix and flip. And there is also the marketing. There's a lot of other ways you can go about it as construction. So I don't know. The list goes on.
Yeah.
But we'll just keep it short right there. It's just really knowing what you want to do with your real estate license. I don't really see myself being a real estate agent forever. I do want to maybe dabble into the fix and flip or investment side of it. Just trying to see it in the long run. I know that being a real estate agent will benefit me.
Yeah, absolutely. You have so many opportunities. The license essentially gives you a leverage, like she said, for real estate marketing, you can do marketing for real estate agents and be a transaction coordinator, which is what I did for a few months. You can be a what do you call it? Showing agent, just show houses, get used to the feeling, teaching, we have a school called Advanced School of Real Estate, and we always host classes on contract law or be a CE instructor and all that stuff. So there's a lot of opportunities in there, and there's millions around the country that have their real estate license for that reason, because of the opportunity that it provides for you. Nationally, there are about 1.5 million realtors. So that means there's opportunity, but that also means that there's a lot of competition, You're competing with the millions of other realtors that are out there. So the thing is, you have to make sure you find a way to differentiate yourself and how you market yourself and how you brand yourself and how you connect with people. That's a big one.
Yeah, I that's another part of it. It's knowing exactly how to run your business, because at the end of the day, this is your business. So you have to know exactly how to brand yourself, the marketing, how to reach people, how we had mentioned, and then also still keeping up with the market. When you have a transaction, yes, you have this one transaction, but you also have to be prepared for the future of the other. So do you have that other transaction lined up, that other client that's interested? Have you got them pre-qualified? Because then once that one transaction ends, when is that next one? What is that next move of getting started with that transaction? Because you can just do one transaction a month, and I think that would benefit you for the year. Your income would be pretty good. But if you want to do more, then it's like, okay, next year I did this, so let me do more for next year, maybe 2-3 more transactions per month. So it's just how you said, it's knowing exactly where you want to go from it. And it starts just by getting your real estate license.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, like she said, like, you guys have to keep in mind how real estate is like, it's different. So you have a transaction, you already have to start looking for the next transaction, you know? It's not like, okay, I have one transaction, that's it. That's all the marketing I'm going to do. You have to prepare, because you can make good money, but realistically the median income for realtors is about 56,000. So if you're not putting the effort, if you're not putting the work, if you're not chasing deals while you're already working on one transaction, then it's just going to go nowhere, you know?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So let's talk about some of the active real estate agents in
Yeah, no, it's okay. So yeah, why don't we talk about uh, the third segment of our podcast, which is why agents quit. You know, that's stuff that no one really talks about. Like you mentioned in the beginning, 30 to 35 agents leave within the last 2 years. But why, like
Mhm.
why is it that they're leaving? And I think the biggest reason is because they lack systems. They have no savings, like you mentioned. Transactions can you can have 5 transactions 1 month and nothing for the next 4 months.
Mhm.
And lack of mentorship. I think those are the biggest 3 reasons why they quit within the first year, because there are many reasons why they choose brokerages, but one of them is because of the big name. You see the big name plastered everywhere, and you're like, oh, you know what? That's a big company. I'm going to do
Mhm.
well,
Mhm.
or you're given false promises like, oh, if you move with me, like we're a luxury brokerage, I can give you these amazing deals, and they give you nothing.
Mhm.
And if you don't have the right systems to keep track of everything, so let's say you, start selling to all of your family members, and after that, what? Like, you don't have a system, you don't have a database. Like, how are you going to move from the surroundings? So that's why we talk a lot about the rookie of the year, because the rookie of the year, what they do is they sell to everyone around them, and then once they sell houses to all of their
Yeah.
friends and family, it's like, okay, what's
Yeah, you're after that sphere, you're left with nothing
yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So you're just like, okay, how else can I reach? What even then, like, okay, am I leaning more to sellers? Am I leaning to buyers?
Mhm.
Is it, young couples? What is that demographic that you're trying to help?
Mhm.
And I don't know, it's difficult once you're in it, but when you see it from maybe somebody that's never been in it, then you're just like, okay, I want to do it and I'm going to do great in it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not as easy as it's put out.
Yeah. And like you were saying, it's time consuming.
Yeah.
I messaged her a few nights ago, and she was showing houses. So I texted her like 9:30, and then you texted me the next morning. You're like, sorry, I fell asleep, because it's time consuming. You're
Yeah.
showing houses, you're working nights, writing offers, contracts,
Mhm.
then you deal with emotional clients sometimes, and then
Mhm.
commission gaps and everything that goes within a transaction, all the things that arise, that sometimes are out of your control. You can do everything right, and then something from the other agent, they come up with something, or
Yeah.
the client or something.
Something personal comes up.
Yeah.
It's normal, but once that personal thing comes up, you're just like, okay, I really can't sometimes do anything because
Mhm.
this is personal and we can't move forward without maybe you feeling comfortable enough to move forward
Mhm.
and to that next step. But yeah, that's a sorry for I'm a
No,
little tired, but it's just that
it's because she's working. She's
and I really need to get better at just having maybe I need coffee. But just having that energizing always like, okay, it's okay, let's keep going, let's keep moving because it's just part of this. So yeah, I just showed late, got home. I had to eat dinner and then clean up, and then my baby, I had to put him for bed and I passed out with him.
yeah.
And I woke up and I was like, dang it, I still had this other task to do before I fell asleep. But
Yeah, but that's how the life of an agent is.
yeah.
That's stuff that people don't talk about. Especially on social media, they put like, oh, it's perfect and all this and that, and
Yeah,
in
and
reality,
you
it's
are
like,
happy when you get that
oh
transaction.
yeah.
You're very excited, but once it's there, I mean, it can be a little draining. So it is just trying to figure out, okay, even though it's draining and it can be consuming,
Mhm.
what can I do to still keep my energy up throughout the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. So, as we were saying too, not many agents make it in this industry. 71% of active agents, active in this case, did not sell a home. I believe that statistic was in 2024. So who knows how it was in 2025? The market for Arizona was really, it was great for buyers. It's great for buyers, and it still is. But for sellers, the homes were staying. They were stuck. So it made
Yeah.
it harder for the agents on the listing side.
Yeah.
And
A lot of
yeah,
cancellations.
lots of cancellations. Even now, as a broker, I see cancellation after cancellation. Because buyers, they have more choices, but buyers are also scared about rates and everything. So there's pushback between both parts. So it's not easy to sell a home. That's why 70% of active agents don't sell a home. So it's just about putting in that work. What is that saying? You eat what you hunt. So you gotta put in the work.
Yes. So even with all of that, this career changes life.
Absolutely.
And I've seen it firsthand, and I am hoping to continue to see that. I want to get to that point where I can say I've helped this many people. So it says here that 35% of buyers are first-time home buyers. And then I think that percentage hopefully continues to grow.
Absolutely. Yeah. First time home buyers. It's always an awesome privilege to see them walking into their very first home. My cousin's currently buying right now, and just like seeing them look for houses and looking for the perfect one, and it just brings joy to you compared to someone that's already bought. I mean, both are great, but there's just that thing that you see when you help a first-time home buyer. Hispanic homeowners are 49.9, which is actually the highest record, which is great. So continuing to help people that never thought that they could buy something, and then you were part of that. Obviously, they did a lot of the work, qualifying and sending all the documents. So it's a lot of work on the buyer's part, but just seeing their faces and like knowing that you helped them get there is just like something unforgettable, I think.
Yeah. I think one of the big reasons I am a real estate agent is to help out. I'm here to help everyone out, but obviously the Hispanic community is just a big part of, holds a big spot in my heart. And that's why I want to continue to do this, just most to help out that Hispanic community, because there's a lot of a big language barrier that I want to be that trusting agent for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially, being bilingual, you get to help even more people, English speaking, Spanish speaking, and all that stuff, and the fact that we also help families build generational wealth, which is a topic that we talked about in previous episodes, is that you're helping them build generational wealth, so that way they can build equity and pass that on to their family members, or sell it and invest. And so it gives you so many opportunities as an agent, helping them build their future is what you're essentially doing, so it's not something to take lightly. It's just
Okay, we're gonna do a quick rapid fire.
Okay,
should we go through that? Okay,
so these are our questions. Let's see if I can actually answer them immediately.
Okay, what is the biggest myth about getting licensed?
I think we talked about this already, but the fact that people think that you can make six figures like automatically, you have to put in the work. A lot of agents or a lot of people coming in don't realize how much work that you have to put in to getting licensed, and just social media, the marketing, the leads, the cold calling, all of the stuff that you have to do when you get your license. And so you can make it. I have no doubt. And many people have, it's just that being realistic and saying, okay, I need a database, or I need this, and just following up,
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah. That you have to be older or be at a certain age to do real estate. I mean, you can start at 17, how you've done a day, and then just get started with that so that you can just prosper for the future.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you're in high school, you can start getting your license now, and even if you don't decide you don't want to do real estate full time, that's fine. Have that license active. You know, when
Yeah.
you sell your house, you don't have
You can add that to your resume.
yeah, yeah, and everything. So it's just like another thing that I always recommend. Again, it's not that hard to 90 hours and what was
2
it?
tests.
2 tests. And obviously you have to pay for fees after that and getting your MLS updated, but just having that license in itself I think is a huge advantage and a huge privilege. You know, so okay, what is one underrated benefit that you see since getting your real estate license?
So when under I think of people you'll meet in the industry. I think there's a lot of socializing that you got to do, a lot of people that you meet in this industry that can help you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I've met so many people in this
I've
industry.
met you.
Yeah,
your
we met each
dad.
other.
Like, there's a lot of people, cool people that I just think I'm just like, wow, if I wasn't in this, I wouldn't have known. And it just they build your knowledge, and that's what you want to do. Surround yourself with people that continue to build you
and help you grow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've met, especially because of social media. I try to be consistent with social media, which I haven't been lately, but it's necessary to be consistent. And I try to appeal to agents because of my broker's license.
Mhm.
And so I've met so many agents in different that work different areas, and it's always good to partner up with people that you feel are going to support you and going to push you to, and just bouncing off ideas and like, hey, why don't you try this and everything and all this. And so it's just been amazing to see how many people that you meet in this industry and how
Mhm.
helpful they are and how yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I know this. I don't know how long this one was, but I felt like it was more informative.
Yeah, I think so too.
But if point is here is that if you get your real estate license, it's not to guarantee success, but it's to guarantee your opportunity.
Yep, absolutely. So if you like this, or if you're thinking about getting your real estate license, reach out to either one of us. I think we would be so happy to help you. Walk you through the steps of getting your real estate license. And if you're an entrepreneur that wants to be on this podcast, we're hopefully opening it up soon to other people. That way we can start bringing in different business owners who want to share their story, you know, and just put themselves out there. So if you're looking for that, make sure you reach out, like, subscribe, share, and
comment if you want to get your license.
Yeah. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.